Yes. First of all, game 4. I'm happy for this 4 game. I'm telling you, the dawn in the building at the moment. I'm happy as a Manchester United fan. You know what happened over the weekend? The first game, the week. I tell you, Manchester United crashed Southampton 3-0. You don't have time. Also, Arsenal, I already prayed. I thought they're going to lose that game. But now, let me tell you something. Arsenal actually showed passion. They show character. Massive game. But the other club, I tell you, that club on the other side. Oh my goodness. You know what I'm talking about, guys. Welcoming everybody onto the show. Please smash the like on the video. Subscribe to our channel if it is first time you're watching this. I'm telling you, this is the review of the game played over the weekend. Let's quickly look at the results I put out here. Remember, Southampton losing to Manchester United 3-0. Brighton versus Ipswich 0-0. Crystal Palace also share spoil together with Leicester City. Whereas also the same thing. Draw soup everywhere. Fulham drawing with West Ham. And also Nottingham Forest. That big club. Fantastic club. Show them Pepe. I tell you about Liverpool losing to. Come on, Nottingham Forest. Pardon me for that, Nottingham Forest fans. It is what it is. Man City, you know that guy. Although always know how to deal with them. I'm talking about Alan. 2 goals over Brentford. That was a scary game initially when Brentford were all out to Man City. They scored first, but that guy, Alan, retaliated with 2 goals. And also Everton. Can we start praying for Everton at this moment? What is going on after 2 goals? And Aston Villa showed them Pepe. And Watkins showing the magic as well. So big up to us, Aston Villa 3-2. Also Chelsea, I can't believe it. That man, Sancho, laying the pass to Nkunku to make it 1-0 for Chelsea out there. What happened at Arsenal at Sports Stadium? Sports losing to, they lost to Arsenal 1-0. Courtesy of Gabriel scoring that header, that bullet header, and also Wolves was synced by Newcastle, making it 2-1 for Newcastle. Let's see how we're going to, before I brought on my crew this moment. I tell you, where's the league table? Quickly, they don't wake up. All right, nevertheless, let me welcome this great man. Jeffers, are you ready for Arsenal? Jeffers, I think you have to jump out and come in again. Your internet is not as well at the moment. Please smash the like on the video as I welcome. Okay, yeah, Jeffers is here with me. Jeffers, can you hear me loud and clear? Unmute your mic.
Perfect, yes. Loud and clear. How's it going?
Yeah,
it was an exciting weekend. Basically, I think a weekend filled up with. Would I say shockers? I wouldn't say shockers, although the biggest shock actually came at Anfield because, believe you me, no one in their minds would actually have thought that Nottingham Forest will go down to a stadium they've not won a game in 60 years and nick all 3 points. It wasn't coming. No one actually saw it. But anyway, that's why we call it the Premier League. It's full of surprises, full of upsets, and once again, we are here to sit back and look at it after a very interesting weekend. Yeah.
All right. Well, let me welcome Irate. I go chop money. Chop. All right, Irate in the building. Smash the like up for this great man, a Liverpool fan. He's here to film, to tell us what actually happened when Slot was talking last week. It's like this. Oh, it's like that. Oh, it's like. But let me tell you.
You're welcome, Irate. Yeah, it's good to be here. Good afternoon, good evening to all of our viewers. And to Jeffers as well. I see he has his Arsenal jersey on. That's what happens after you win a game. So
representing.
I don't have a Liverpool jersey on.
Oh my goodness.
But one thing the weekend showed us is that we actually miss club football, honestly. International break, it kind of it breaks the momentum of teams, and we saw a couple of teams struggle to get into the game earlier on when the game started. But interesting results, lots of draws as well to show you that teams don't want to be at the bottom or towards the end of the table when we are already calling the shots at the end of the season for teams that we're relegating and teams that will be nicking European places and staying in the league. So interesting times coming. The honeymoon is over for Anslot. He has
Slot.
been given a very good welcome to the Premier League. And
Yeah.
if he doesn't know what the Premier League is about, I'm sure he knows it now. So it's a good wake up call for Liverpool. And some other interesting results that we're going to review as well. But overall, it's good to be here and let's
Yeah.
get into it.
All right, let's get into it. People, smash the like on the video, subscribe just in case you've not subscribed and you're watching this show. Please subscribe to our channel. Let's get straight into it. I'm going to start with you, Liverpool fan, Manchester United 3 and Southampton. Don't tell me, come on.
You had to call a Liverpool fan. For when you win, you call a Liverpool fan, but it's not a problem because days like this don't come too often. You guys often lose or draw, so it's okay. But I think one thing you can tell from this game is that from my United perspective, they struggled to get going in the first half. And if there's one thing that is a team in the Premier League that I've noticed so far, when you refuse to take your chances, the opposition just need one chance and you are done. That's the end of the game for you. And
Absolutely.
we saw it in like 3 or 4 games over the weekend. Southampton started really well, had good possession, and wanted to play that expansive football that Rosel Martin wanted. But then they got the penalty and they lost it. And that was the turning point in that game because a few minutes later, Man United had a chance to score, didn't take it, and then the goal came after a couple of minutes later. And from there, they just got totally derailed and even got a red card. So Southampton will rue their chances. They had those chances to score earlier into the game until the momentum changed to Man United. And if they are going to stay in the Premier League, they see what Ipswich and Leicester City are doing at this
That,
early stage of the season. You don't want to be so behind the rest of the group. You want to make sure that you are always in the pack, right?
yeah.
When the coach came out before the game and said, "Oh, this is how we want to play. We want to play this attacking, expansive style of football." So far, it's not working, and he's so adamant that he's going to stick to that pattern of play when it is clearly not working. So Southampton have to go back to the drawing board. We saw Burnley do it last season, and they ended up getting relegated. They would concede bundles of goals. In fact, with the way they are playing, they will probably be last in the table by the end of the season, and they could get relegated earlier than
E-
anyone expects if they don't
Easily.
change easily. If they don't change their style of football, it's too open. The only way you can survive as a promoted team or the best chance of surviving in this league is by staying compact. That is one way you can survive. And that is, we saw Ipswich in the first game against Liverpool where they were pressing all over the pitch and they ended up getting beaten. And Kieran McKenna learned real fast that he had to change something, which he has already done. And now they have, I think, 2 or 3 points on board now. So championship is championship. The Premier League is a different ball game entirely. You have to be ready. You have to stay compact. The teams you are coming to meet in the Premier League are established teams, and they have more quality than you. So Southampton, 0 points so far. They have to learn real and fast. Otherwise, we can be January, February. We're talking about relegation already for Southampton. But good win for Man United. Ten
Thank
Hag
you.
needed that win definitely.
Thank you.
Takes the monkey off his back a little bit, but the tougher games are still ahead, definitely.
All right, Jeffers, what do you think about the game moving forward? About this still on this Manchester United? I think at this moment, do you think Eric Ten Hag is safe?
No,
I
he's not
mean,
safe.
do you see a style of play? I mean, there's something, is there anything you see in the team?
I think he's trying to create a pattern. I think he's trying to create a pattern from what we could see. However, where my doubts come with Ten Hag is this: Ten Hag makes it look as if he's getting the job done, and then in the next game he goes all back again to his formatting system, and then he messes up again. I remember saying it earlier. First game you started Ahmad, he had a good performance. Second game you started Ahmad, he had a good performance. The third game, what would he do? He put him on the bench, and all hell went loose. Yesterday, on Saturday, he started Ahmad again, and we saw the performance he actually gave. My problem with Southampton is this: Rule number one when it comes to the Premier League for a newly promoted side,
Mm.
your first priority is to find a way to escape relegation. And the only way you can do that is to remain compact, especially in defense. If you're going to go and play a game whereby you know that, okay, I might concede goals, but at least I shouldn't concede more than one or two, you just stay at the back and absorb the pressure. At that game, that first half, if you looked at that first half very well, Southampton were all over United completely. They were all over United. They even had a penalty to even take in, at least put them level in the first half. What
Yeah.
happened? The moment they lost that penalty, it was already obvious these guys were going to get slaughtered. And in the second half, that was it. There was no answer for them. Um, I, if I pity for anyone in that side, I pity the manager, Russell Martin, because it's going to be tough. It will really get tough at this point. And I also pity for Aaron Ramsey because it looks so sad whereby when you have to move, it has to be a case whereby it's a team that the defense is already in shambles, and you have to start drawing out water from a ship that already has holes in it. You will keep on sinking. If that defense line doesn't protect this goalie, he will keep on conceding goals. There's nothing that can be done about it. This is 4 games, no points. It's always looking dangerous when you actually start in the first 5 games of the Premier League season and you have no points on
No
board.
point.
You are
Crazy.
looking at relegation clearly. And Southampton's next game, well, let me even see who they have next because it looks like a very, very tough game for them because at
Yeah.
this point right now, they can't afford to play another game and lose. If they lose their next game, they are in trouble because it's not looking good at the moment. And as it happens to be, Southampton's next game
Uh,
is against, okay, they are playing Everton in the EFL Cup tomorrow. Then they have Ipswich Town over the weekend. And that Ipswich side, they
that's
don't look like they're ready
they
to
don't
drop
look
points
at.
on Southampton. So
I'm
honestly,
telling you.
it's going to be a very tough game for them this week. This week is going to be a relegation 6 pointer for them. They have to get their acts right. And
Mm.
look at it, they even have 2 games to even they have 2 games to at least balance up. Everton are in the same boat with them at the moment. And they have also have Ipswich that if they
Yes,
actually get a result against Ipswich, they move ahead of Ipswich on the table. So I think it's all come
they
down
have
to
a
do all
chance.
come down to what Sir Martin can do. He actually has a chance. It's going to be very narrow, but he has to start getting results with games like this.
All right, I'm going to start with you. I rate on this Brighton. They couldn't find a way to win. Ipswich are compact, like die hard. How many
Brighton,
scoring chances they almost too
they
much?
had the Brighton attacked and attacked and
Attack and
attacked. They
attack.
kept knocking on the door, and Ipswich kept saying no.
No way.
We are getting at least 1 point
What
from here, and
massive?
that is the sign of a side that is ready to stay in the Premier League, because you know that the team you are playing, the opposition you are facing, you don't have enough quality to go and play expansive football against them. You know it already. You know your weaknesses. You know your strengths, and that is why I feel no pity for Russell Martin, because he is not doing what he's supposed to do. He's not taking his assignment seriously. That's how I see it. So Ipswich have quickly adapted. They are gathering, even if it's 1 point you are
1 point.
starting with, at
Hmm.
least start gathering these points so that when it gets to a stage where you feel like, okay, we've gotten to a stage where we can kind of play open football against other teams, like especially newly promoted teams like Southampton they face next weekend. But when you know you're facing the established teams in the Premier League, a team that loves to attack like Brighton at home at the Amex Stadium, you can't go there and say you want to be pressing all over the pitch. You are asking, it's a suicide mission. You're
Hmm.
asking for too much. So there were a couple of few chances. Of course, Brighton had the best chances. Mitoma had a very good chance. He didn't take the chance. But overall, I saw very good defending from Ipswich. They stayed tight, they stayed compact, they gave absolutely nothing, no defensive errors at all,
Yeah,
zero to Brighton. So for me, it's more of a good result for Ipswich than Brighton.
Brighton.
And if they want to stay in this league, they need to continue to grind out results like this.
Hmm. All right, moving on to this game, Fulham West Ham. Jeffers, I thought it's a balanced game. for me.
I knew we called it on Friday. We said this
Yeah.
game might just actually end with a draw, and no surprises, it actually ended up that way. This was a game that I actually expected West Ham to go out to get all 3 points, but based on looking at their squad in depth and how they've been able to work with the transfer markets. And no surprises, funny enough, they considered first, which seems to be a concern with West Ham because it looks as if no matter the manager that comes in, that defensive lineup is still shaky. So they considered first, and it basically took them the 93rd minute
Minute.
to get an equalizer in that game. They left it very, very late, and it had to be Danny Ings who came in from the bench to actually
Bench.
get the goal for them. Um, this is it. Okay, enough with the drama. According to what Pep said, preseason is over. Now the league starts. Julian Lopetegui has got to start getting positive results because if you look at the circumstances that brought him in, I think personally, I feel Western fans are actually getting what they deserve because you had David Moyes there, who, despite all the pressure and despite everything that was going against him, was still managing to take you guys to pinnacles that you had never been before. This was a Western team that had not qualified for Europe in a long while. You took them to Europe in the first year, they got to the quarterfinals. The
Mm.
second season you came back, you got them the trophy. The third season you came back, you still got to the quarterfinals. And what was the reward Western fans could give him? They kicked him out. In fact, they
Ah,
made his life miserable till he decided to just leave. Even Western didn't even handle the issue very well. You put a contract in front of a manager and you tell him, okay, we're going to give you an extension and everything. And all of a sudden, after two bad results, you withdraw it and no one makes mention of it again. Now
mm,
you've gotten Lopetegui. Lopetegui has come in and he is struggling to get results. What next will happen? The same fans who were supporting them to get Moyes out will gradually turn on Lopetegui if care is not taken. And when that
slowly.
happens, he is already out of the door. As for Marco Silva, Fulham's side, I think they are gradually trying to take shape. I think you can still see the performance of the players. They are still trying to blend in. We saw several players make their first appearance for the team, like Reece Nelson. We saw him make his first appearance for the team. I think they're still trying to blend in. I think at least on compared to what Lopetegui is doing, he is still trying to sort his team out, but he's actually getting results, and that's the most important thing. It was only United he lost to. He has gotten a result in every other game. He's gotten a win and two draws so far. He's on 5 points. I think gradually he will start getting that team to take shape. I think they've missed some players. There are some players that I know that they've missed that is making it look different, but I feel Fulham still look like they're on course to actually remain in the Premier League for me. So I think a fair result for both sides, but West Ham needs to do better.
All right.
And quick
Uh,
one on Lopetegui. That man, if he doesn't realize he is under pressure, I don't think he realizes it because he has spent so much.
so much.
I can't
Yeah.
remember the last time Fulham spent so much money in the transfer window. And they have only gotten so little in return. I need to take some time to make the team gel and to bed in the new players. But come on, man, come on. The display
It's
is
been
not been good
abysmal,
enough. It's
honestly.
been abysmal from West Ham. Wan Bissaka, John Clare to Debo. So many signings this guy made, and they are still not playing well enough. So I think this 1 point actually saved him from a lot of pressure. But going forward, he needs to start getting those results, winning teams, and getting closer to European places. That is why West Ham has spent so much
So
money, and
much
that's where they
money.
want to be.
All right. Moving on to this game. Iris, what happened? Let's see if Kilo Sheleku.
Honeymoon is over. That is the
Hi.
first thing. It's
Wow.
a we saw. Let me start with Allison's interview. Allison said after the game that we are not used to losing at home, and I can count on my fingers during club's tenure the number of games that we lost at home in
The
all
last time you
competitions.
lost at home was actually Leeds United.
No, it was
If you
Crystal
think about it,
Palace last
it
season.
was
Crystal
Crystal
Palace.
Palace last
But
season.
before Crystal
Before
Palace
then, it
was
was
Leeds
Leeds
United.
United.
So
And
we
it's
only
been
lose
like a year's
a
interval.
year,
So I
yeah.
don't know
One
exactly
we
what
lose
happened
one
yesterday.
home game, one home game a season. It's too early to start losing games at Anfield into a new tenure. So
Mm.
slots need he need it, I don't the attacking display was just abysmal. very abysmal. Loose passes, turnovers. We couldn't get passes out from the back. The attack could not get going. And I think the substitutions made it worse. When
Mm.
he brought in the likes of Gapo, Nunez,
Gakpo,
Jones,
Nunes.
and these guys, and moved Trent to midfield,
What do you think
Bradley.
about that Jones too? People are. I heard some Liverpool fans they don't want that guy to be playing for them. As
Jones
in,
is not good enough to start for Liverpool, but he's a good squad player. I think he can. There are a couple of games and competitions that he can chip in as well. He has played some big games, Curtis Jones, and I think he's fairly a good player, but enough to start for Liverpool. No, you're not going to play a Champions League final against Real Madrid or Inter Milan and start Curtis Jones. No, you're
ah,
calling for you're calling for a bad game. So, yes, while Nottingham Forest had a game plan, and the game plan was to stay tight. Don't give Liverpool any sort of
and
space, especially in your own half. And this was kind of different from the other teams we've played. We played Ipswich, we played Brentford, we played Man United. And I can say Ipswich and Man United actually pressed Liverpool, which allowed us to play that ball out from the back and break those lines and those banks of four that those teams brought to Liverpool to attack us. But that is what Slot tactics has been based on so far.
oh,
He wants your position to press
mm,
Liverpool.
yeah,
Nottingham Forest did not.
they
In fact, they
not.
were not
They
interested in
didn't even
pressing
interested
Liverpool.
in. Yeah.
So they just said, "Come and
Oh
break
my
us
God,
down. We are right here. Break us down. Let us see. Let us see what you can do." And
that was true. Yeah.
so many passes were misplaced. He couldn't complete 5 yards passes. Luis Diaz was not in the game. So Bosley got frustrated. Trent Arnold was throwing passes
Passes.
to
Oh,
go kick and throw in. And I was like, this is, I know, and a lot of people said, oh, maybe the international break made the team disjointed, but it was just too many wayward passes and the attack was just not good. It was so on Liverpool, like at home. And in the first half, yes, we had a couple of decent chances, but there was no chance you would say, oh,
at all.
the
Yeah.
goalkeeper made an outstanding save. And I think Nuno just got his tactics spot on. When those changes were made, after containing Liverpool for a long period, he brought in Elanga and Orson Odoi,
God, that
and
was
that just totally killed the game. So they were able to defend deep and also counter attack.
counter attack.
And the first chance they
Stretch.
got, actually, no, it was the second chance because they had a chance before that, which they missed. The second chance they got, they broke that line, and Orson Odoi put the ball at the back of the net. Now, how do Liverpool respond? Liverpool
Not.
could not even muster a shot on target from I think 70th minute to the 90th minute of
Can
the
you
game.
imagine?
So it was a very bad display, a very bad day at the office. And like I said, Liverpool fans are not used to losing games at Anfield. And
Like,
Slot needs to go back to the drawing board, figure out what went wrong. We have a big game against AC Milan tomorrow, and then Bournemouth on the weekend. You need to get the team back to winning ways. And it's good sometimes when you get a reality check
mm,
when you're basking in the euphoria of you're on the high horse and everyone is hailing you, hey, and Slot is here, he has slotted in seamlessly. I'm taking over from jogging club. The Premier League will humble you. We'll get to some other coaches like Postecoglou that
what's
have
a
been
good?
humbled,
The
Yeah.
Premier
but
League will just onslaught you when you don't
it will
expect it.
onslaught
That
you
was
when
what
you feel
happened.
like you have been
That's what
slotted.
happened.
So I'm sure he has learned it. And Slot should be ready to play more teams that will defend deep than teams that will press Liverpool. Not many teams will press Liverpool. Nuno said it after the game that we know that when it comes to quality, we cannot go toe to toe with them. So we had to pack the bus. We had to make sure that Liverpool did not have any space at all in the opposition in our own half. So
Mm,
Slot should be ready. We will face more teams like this in the Premier League, and there will be no excuse. And also going forward, I said this before Slot came in. As a Liverpool coach, one thing you need to ensure is that you always have the side of the fans at home. You don't want to be losing home
at
games. It's
home.
too early into your tenure to be losing home games. So I actually think we will see a very good response from Liverpool tomorrow against AC Milan and also against Bournemouth at the weekend.
Mm. All right. Jeffers, just chip in one or two things you think about this game, Liverpool and Nottingham Forest.
I think this is my issue. I think this is it. Um, Liverpool, obviously, Arne Slot has just been working based on what Klopp has already left down, and that's what has been taking him for the first four games. But at this point now, it's clear he
Hmm.
has to bring his pattern into the game because the truth is this: that was a game that no one actually saw coming.
At all.
Liverpool got exposed several times, which is very, very, very unusual. In fact, I think at this point we need to decide one thing: is Arnold a midfielder or a fullback?
Fullback. I read to
This
tell
is
us.
where
Is
this
both.
this yeah, he is both. But the thing is this: we've watched Arnold several times, and we can tell you for free that Arnold is effective attack wise. But when
Yeah,
the pressure is on him at the back, mistakes will always come up. It's going to show. And Stott has got to find a way to manage how he uses Arnold. Arnold definitely likes to drive forward, but there are some games whereby he might have to step back and assimilate a bit. Or if it's not going to happen, you need to have one of your central defenders shunt into that position to cover for him when he flies up off the wings. Because Nottingham Forest, precisely, Elanga was using that advantage seriously. And Elanga became a handful to actually handle. In fact, the goal he scored was basically one drop because that ball did not bounce. It just went in directly to the bottom corner and it was
I
from
think
outside the 18.
from
It didn't bounce.
Hudson
Odoi.
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 Or Odoy, sorry. It didn't bounce. Now you have Odoy on one side, you have Elanga on the other side. The two fullbacks will have a field day. They have to find a way to manage the two of them. I feel it's still early days, although yes, it's a rude awakening. The high summit, 3 games, 9 points, no goals considered. It had to come down to one goal, and now we are back to the drawing board.
Back to the
Slot still
drawing board.
has time. No one's going
Yeah,
to put pressure on him. He still has time to actually get his acts
Of
in
course. It's
order.
yeah.
But this is one thing that, believe you me, Anfield faithfuls do not want to see
Don't want.
again
It's too early.
this season. It's too early.
it's too
Yeah,
early. It's too
It's too
early.
it's
early.
just too early.
All right,
But just
moving
to
on to
touch
the next
on
one.
one thing he said real
Okay.
quick about this game, I don't think Liverpool, especially in the first half, were exposed. I think yes, in the second half, once those two dangerous wingers in Elanga and Hudson Odoi came on, but in the first half, Nottingham Forest did not have a touch in Liverpool box, no
At
shot on
all.
target, nothing. It was
Exactly.
one-sided. So, but that's why I said it was a case of substitutions, right? Slot substitutions impacted Liverpool negatively. Meanwhile, his opposition, Nuno, made impactful substitutions positively to Nottingham Forest. And you could see that the game just turned on its head and Liverpool struggled to get going. It got worse when he brought in the likes of Jones and he put Trent in midfield
In
and then
midfield. And
Gakpo and
Nunes.
Nunes came in.
Ah,
So the game
what?
just, we were just all over the place and then Nottingham Forest was able to counter attack and they scored the goal. So back to the drawing board, like
Mm,
Jeffer said.
mm. All right. I rate. I was thinking Brentford are coming up with an idea, but this man, Haaland, we need to even talk about that guy anymore. I mean, it's
I mean,
just crazy. 2 goals from
I
nowhere
listened to one pundit. I don't remember who it was. Say that he's probably the greatest striker we've ever seen in the Premier
in
League.
the Premier League.
I mean, um, that might be an exaggeration, but he's I think he's on 99 goals already for Man City in all competitions. 99 goals in 101 games or thereabouts. It's incredible. Like it's unheard of what this guy is doing in only his third season in the Premier League. And just like Liverpool and Man United also, Man City struggled to get going as well after the international break. You know, and in the first 2 minutes, no, in the first minute actually they conceded.
Yes,
From a couple of
yeah,
passes that Brentford stringed, and then
that was it.
yeah,
Hmm.
it was like a soccer punch. They couldn't believe what had happened. Like Mbeumo, was it Mbeumo or Wisa? I
Mm,
don't remember.
mm,
Mbeumo
well,
scored
what
that
was
goal. Yeah.
yeah.
So but then when you have this man, and we keep saying these things that Pep can use a false nine, this, that.
Hmm.
Sometimes strikers they worth their weight in gold. Sometimes strikers are golden. You don't have to do every other thing and just put the ball in the back of the net. Forget
Hmm.
every other thing. Forget your hold up play. Forget the passing. Forget the dropping deep. Forget all of those board analysis. And let's just call it what it is. Primarily, the job of a striker is to score. And when you have a striker that is getting, Alan had 38 goals last season, and we
Yeah.
said he didn't have a good season. How many strikers in the world can we say that about? Scoring 38 goals in a season, and we are criticizing him that, oh, Alan didn't have a good season last season. So
Forget about it.
the Brentford just is like, they also knew it was too early in the Etihad Stadium, honestly, and Arsenal is going there next week, which we'll discuss, to score that goal, because there's no way Man City will not come back for you. And we saw in the first half a very good pass from Ederson for the. I have to talk about that second goal. That
That's the
second
Congo.
goal
Yeah.
was outstanding.
Ah,
The way
God,
Haaland is a typical old-fashioned number 9.
9
What
like
he did to
Drogba.
Pinnock there was, even
It just
Pinnock could not believe it.
really,
It just one arm behind Pinnock, and Pinnock
and
could
that
not
was it.
move back, and it chipped the level
Man,
of confidence he has in front of goal. If someone like Nunes
don't
could
give him
even
a
have
space.
half of
Don't give
that,
him a
I
space.
would be really happy as a Liverpool fan, because the way he chips the ball over the goalkeeper, you can tell that confidence is flowing in him and in Haaland. And with this man at the top of his game right now, I have to say it's bad news for the rest of the Premier League. I already said even before the season started that Man City are winning. Is it going to be fifth straight, right? Fifth straight league
Straight.
title. We are. It's slowly becoming a farmers' league, but yeah, Man City got the 3 points at Etihad. It's becoming normal and customary for them to get 3 points at Etihad, and Arsenal will also be facing this juggernaut next weekend.
Next
So
week.
good 3 points for them. Still top of the table. Who has the guts? Who is ready? Who is well fortified to take that league title from them? You
Ha.
have to be ready. You have to show that you are ready, because they don't look like they are ready to relinquish that title anytime
Yeah.
soon.
All right, Aston Villa, still on you. Jeffers, I thought Everton were going to have their first win, but all of a sudden
Okay,
they
okay.
just
And
lost
I
the
thought I
momentum.
called it again on Friday that this one is 3 points to Aston Villa. You see, the thing is this.
I was shocked. Oh, I was shocked. I was thinking this game is going to be like
Everton has got to understand one thing. I think Sean Dyche will have to talk to his side. The problem
how,
I'm seeing with Everton is
how.
there's this sense of doubt that is among the players, because the last game the same thing happened. You already went 2-0 up in the first half. At that point, in all honesty, just kill the game off. Maintain your position, maintain your shape, and you won't have any problems. It just seems to be as if every time they get that second goal
Hmm.
and they just maintain themselves, the moment they concede one,
One.
it's over. The same thing happened again yesterday, on Saturday. You were leading Villa. You scored the
2-0.
first goal. Immediately you got the second goal. Where I sensed danger was coming was when Watkins was allowed to get that header to make it 2-1.
2-1.
I was already scared. And if you notice one thing, the second goal was clearly avoidable. Michael Keane had Watkins. How did you
Walking.
manage to find a way to control the ball directly to Watkins, and it was on goal with the goalkeeper? Still baffles me. There was no way what Pickford was going to do anything about that ball. Then that third goal, believe you me, it was a worldie. There was no keeper on this earth that will
No
stop that
goal.
one,
That
because
In fact, we
the
could be seeing the
the
goal of the
shot
season already.
goal of
the
the season
shot
already.
the shot was, as in, it was
Bullet.
coming there, and
Swerving
it
and
wasn't
dipping.
expected. It was swerving and it was dipping at the same time. I think this is it. Sean Dyche, well, we can see it obviously. He is now getting goals, which is one thing we actually complained about. At least Calvert Lewin is now getting goals, even though he's still missing chances. But for me, I think what that young man needs right now is what he's getting. He needs all the encouragement he can actually get to remember that he's a striker and he can actually score goals. So getting another goal this weekend is a plus for him. But for the general team outplay, I think Sean Dyche needs to work on his defenders. They need to remain composed. Because personally, I feel like they are exposing Pickford a whole
Jeffers,
lot this season.
Jeffers,
Yeah,
don't you think Everton are missing Jarrod Braithwaite, who
that's
was
one. But
fantastic
Oh.
last season?
that is one.
Oh.
But I personally feel the major role that is being exposed is the role Amadou Onana plays in that midfield. It's open. Very, very open. Onana's absence is shown in that Evertonian squad. It's very, very clear. And the thing is, if you make the mistake of allowing the player to leave, at least get a replacement who can do similar, if not the same. They failed to do it, and now they're actually paying for their transgressions. I just pray we're not going to. Already it's looking like we're already having the same run with Everton,
Yeah.
playing and losing games. I just pray they will find a way to solve it earlier than later this season.
Mm. All
They
right,
might they
moving
might
on
be in
to
relegation trouble again, and
again.
They
unfortunately,
already are in relegation troubles
Then
already.
right, see the table now.
unfortunately,
Ah,
they are going to be moving to a new stadium next season. Imagine
They don't want
moving
to
to
start
your
that
new
new stadium in
stadium
the championship.
in the
Honestly,
championship.
it's not good. It is not good.
It's not good at all. So I mean,
It's
there are
not good at
moments
all.
of David Moyes coming in. So even though Sean Dyche has gotten the vote of confidence this morning, I still think he's under pressure. He knows he's under pressure, and David
He
Moyes will
knows he's under
always
pressure. Yes,
be on the sidelines waiting to for a return to
to take
Everton. The
over.
fans, yeah, the
Yeah.
fans still love him. So
mm. All right, moving on to this game. I rate your brothers Chelsea. I thought it was going to be nil-nil, but Bournemouth has so many
in
chances.
fact, I think
You
I
can't
touched
believe
on
it.
this earlier about Southampton too as well. That we saw it was a theme in the weekend for. You see, I noticed something in Premier, just like Liverpool. If you miss so many chances, it just feels like your position needs one chance and you are gone.
And you're gone.
Bournemouth should have been at least 2 goals up in the first half. At least they missed the penalty. They had so many chances. They hit the crossbar, I think, twice. They
Twice.
should have been out of the way already in the first half. But
And just
then
one chance from Chelsea. That pass from
just
Sancho.
one chance. This is where quality comes in. They signed this. I forgot the name of the striker. Was he Evan Nielsen or what's his name from Porto? And
Yeah.
he couldn't finish at crucial points, and then he missed the penalty as well. So this is the Premier League is unforgiving. You miss your chances, your position is ready to pounce, and your position pounced in the 86th minute. And it was a very simple ball from Sancho. I don't think Sancho Felix really performed to the level
Perform
that
to
we
the
know that they can.
mm.
But it was just a simple ball from Sancho, and Nkunku turned in between two
Turn in between
defenders.
the two defenders.
Who was taking up Nkunku? Who was supposed to be right in front of him? It was just a simple turn, basic turn that could happen in Sunday league football or even in training. And he used one turn to beat two defenders. So Bournemouth only have themselves to blame. They face Liverpool next weekend, unfortunately. So they will also want to respond to this defeat. But if there was one team that deserved 3 points in this game, it's Bournemouth.
It's
For
Bournemouth.
Chelsea, I don't think they should be too excited because what I saw from them yesterday was conference league quality. And we saw the team they played for the qualifiers that they lost to
Very
in conference league.
qualifiers.
You can't have all of those options that you have and you are struggling. It's unheard of. It's not allowed. There's no way you have that quality you do have, the amount of money you have spent on these players, and then you're bringing in three attackers for next three attackers, and all six are failing to provide a spark. I needed to, wait for just one moment that I'm not even sure Nkunku thought, could happen for him to happen for
Yeah.
you. That is not how you want to set up your team if you want to get into European places this season. So
Mm.
while it was a good 3 points and a clean sheet,
Yeah.
Chelsea still has a lot of work to do.
Yeah, they still do. Moving on to this game on Sunday. That was a big game for North London Derby. Jeffers, put us through with this game. Arsenal from nowhere. They got
All right.
3 points.
I think it's not a case of nowhere. I think it's a case of Ange not learning his lessons
Never is a very stubborn
again.
man. Your internet. I think we lost him. Ari, can you
Yeah.
hear him?
No, I can't hear him. But
Uh,
I
To
think
win.
oh, okay.
I think he's
Yesterday,
back.
you had a situation whereby not only were they missing their captain, they were also missing an enforcer in Declan Rice in midfield. And somehow, it will only take someone like Arteta, who seemed to have learned some lessons from Atletico Madrid's manager Diego Simeone, on what I like to call defensive dark arts. Because the truth is, when Simeone means that he wants to defend, I can assure you, you are not getting past that defense line. Because what Arteta just did was, it was anyway. We suspected this was going to happen. We actually predicted it. He was just going to move Kai Havertz to 10
And he
and
did
keep him
that.
there. And that was exactly what he did. He
Yeah.
didn't change anything. He just used the same patterns he used last season to get the results. And this time, it was clearly obvious that if not for Martinelli's prolific in goal, I think Arsenal should have been 2-0 up as at halftime because Martinelli had chances to actually get going. But I think this is where he will now realize the fact that he's got to sit up because the truth is this: Sterling used only 5 minutes in that game, and Sterling had one chance.
One
If
chance.
not for Sterling being who we know Sterling to be, if we want to like beat to create that space, Sterling would have scored. But the thing is this: Martinelli's form has dipped, in all honesty. I think it
Mm.
started last season. He has got to start, he has to go
Front
back to the basics
bench.
and know when to pass, when to shoot, when to place, and when to finish. Because if he doesn't do that, Sterling would actually put him on the bench. Already in that position, Trossard is giving him a challenge and justifying why he needs to start
It's a
ahead of him.
chat.
It's a problem. It is a problem already for Martinelli. Gabriel, I don't know how many times we are going to say this, but the thing is this. So far, so good. Since the beginning of last season till date, Arsenal has scored 23 goals from set pieces. That is higher than any other side in the Premier League. It tells you that Mikel's backroom staff have worked on an aspect that has always been Arsenal's major problem: set
Yeah.
pieces, and they've turned it in the other way around. Arsenal were known for conceding goals from set pieces. But nowadays, you're now seeing a case whereby if
Arsenal is
Arsenal has a set piece against you,
You're in
you
trouble.
should be careful. Because if you notice one thing, I
mm.
think in that game they found Bukayo Saka was actually being marked by two players. Almost, I think that's a new pattern now to hold Bukayo. You have to use two players on him. But the funniest thing was the one time he was able to get past those people, it led to the corner, and he was the one who did bring it in. I think there was a few weeks ago when people were talking about Bukayo Saka and Rodrigo who starts ahead, and someone was saying, okay, wasn't that it was even last week
Yeah,
where
it was last
Robert
week.
Perez was saying Doku is better than Saka because he's consistent. And I didn't want to say anything because one thing I don't like to do is I don't like to really go into criticism. But I think the stats, Bukayo just lets the stats speak for him. He doesn't need to talk too much. 4 games, 4 assists. I don't see any other definition for consistency more than that. But I think Tottenham has got to like, Ange has got to look at one thing clearly.
Mm.
Ange, look, you're a good manager. You actually have an attacking brand that actually works for you, and I love that attacking philosophy. But this is the Premier League.
Premier League.
In the
Mm.
Premier League, to get results, you need to know how to attack and you need to know how to defend.
Defense.
They left Gabriel alone in that box. You don't do that. Gabriel has scored 15 goals in the Premier League already. For a defender, that's an outrageous score. That's an outrageous ratio. You don't let this guy stay alone in the 18. He's dangerous. He's already
But
been
it wasn't
established.
it wasn't
How
alone.
would Tottenham defenders?
It wasn't alone. It was with Romero,
Who
and
was marking Romero?
Romero lost him at
Romero
some
let
point.
loose of him.
Yeah,
Romero was actually in front of him,
in front of him in a
which
corner
he
kick,
shouldn't have done. He was basically unmarked for that goal.
and he was complaining about the
He
push.
was
I don't think
unmarked. He
that
was
push
in front of him,
was enough, anyways, for me.
and he was coming. If you look, I looked at that. I looked at that incident, but that wasn't. It wasn't a push. It wasn't enough to this the
At
foul.
all.
He was left alone. He shouldn't have done it. I think we look at the standout players for Arsenal yesterday. Although Gabriel got the man of the match, but I think we need to put out one pointer there. Um, David Raya.
Yeah.
Initially,
Golden State.
when Arteta
Golden
decided to
State.
just go get David Raya, a lot of us Arsenal fans were mad. We're wondering why get a Raya when you already have the Ramsdale. I think
Ramsdale.
Now we know the reason why. Because he has proven that he can actually perform in that duty way more than Ramsey could actually do. You're seeing a goalie who actually has total control of his defense line. He
Yeah.
knows how to coordinate his troops, and whenever he's needed to actually give the saves, he has delivered. I think, in all honesty, that is one sign that was astute. And if I was initially of the opinion that maybe he should have let Ramsdale stay, I think I now know why he had to let Ramsdale go. This guy is good. He should be given his flowers when he deserves it. Apart from that, Spurs, three consecutive home games against Arsenal, and they've lost it.
Lord said. Yeah.
Believe you me, Spurs do not like to lose because every time they play Arsenal and they lose to Arsenal, it's basically Arsenal putting it to their faces like, you see this North London, it
Forget
doesn't belong
about
to you.
it.
We own it,
It's
we
red.
call the shots. You guys will have to go and look for another place to put yourself. It's always red. That's a problem.
Mm. I think we lost him there. You want to say something, irate about the game?
Yeah, for me, it's a tale of two managers. One that knows what he's doing, and another one that is unnecessarily stubborn, right? And Jeffers touched on it there. Arsenal has scored the most from set pieces since last season, 24, I think.
Mm.
And I remember Ateta bringing in Clover from Man City, the set piece coach, who has drastically improved how Arsenal not only attack set pieces but also defend them.
Different.
And this question, when Angie lost last season to Arsenal, this same question was put to Angie that, we see Vicario, your goalkeeper, struggling. I think Tottenham, among the big six, have considered the most goals from corners
Mm.
from last season, from set pieces, Tottenham Hotspur. And it was put to Angie that does he think they need a set piece specialist? Angie said no, that he doesn't think so, and that he doesn't think it changes a
Very
lot for him.
stubborn.
So, it's a tale of two managers. One that knows what he's doing, and another one that I'm not sure he understands the league he is and what he plans to do with this team. And if he doesn't know, there's a lot of pressure on him. Last season, a lot of people gave him, the pass that he lost Harry Kane, he came into a new team, got them to a, you know, respectable fifth position, and they're in the Europa League, so they're on the upward trajectory. But
Mm.
you can't be losing to your rivals three straight seasons at home. It's not the Liverpool manager will get fired for that. You don't even need up to three. There's no way you're losing those to your opposite to Everton three straight seasons. It's not done.
It's just,
So
exactly. I was about to say that it's impossible for you to lose to Everton three day games on the bounce.
three
Whoever
straight
you
games.
are, you're getting fired.
You're getting fired. So what he's doing is actually putting himself in a firing line. And then I watched his post match conference yesterday. He was being bullish about him winning a trophy this season and said he always wins
Uh,
a trophy in the second season. And I'm like, this
okay.
is a man that is trying to defend himself. I remember him be the darling of the media last season, and they always wanted to hear from him, and he was saying the good things about the media and the referees. But now that the pressure got turned on, you can tell that the pressure is really on him.
Mm.
Because this season so far, Tottenham have actually created loads of chances, but they've been unable to score. Solanke is now under pressure. He's a new player coming in from Bournemouth, and it's definitely an upward move for him coming to Tottenham
But we've
because
not seen anything yet.
I mean, to be fair, Arsenal for me right now have the best centre back pairing in the world, in world football right now. Saliba and Gabriel are at that level, and we really can't, blame Solan. He barely got a sniff yesterday. It was I think it started brightly, but Saliba eventually got the better of him at the end of the game. And Arsenal, Timber White, they made sure that they were tight to the opposition. They gave them zero space. I don't remember Tottenham having any clear-cut chance at all yesterday. So sometimes it's these little details that decide games. And it is the difference between a team finishing in top four and a team not finishing in top four. And Arsenal have mastered that craft that for us to get closer, you will see the same against Man City next weekend. We'll see how Pep deals with it. Arsenal has mastered that craft of we cannot just win games in this tough league by playing good, beautiful football. Sometimes we have to make sure that we are able to grind out those points, and set piece is a way that we can do it. I remember Liverpool a couple of seasons ago hired a throwing coach, Gronemark from Midtjylland, and a lot of
What?
people. A throwing coach, yes. A lot of people laughed at Liverpool. This and that. They are wasting money. Why are they bring? What does a throwing coach do? What is his
Throwing
job?
coach?
Yes, throwing coach. But guess what? The data came out at the end of the season, and Liverpool scored the most goals in the whole of Europe behind just one team from a throwing situation. And guess the team that was ahead of Liverpool? The same Midtjylland that we took that set
That
piece
took the.
specialist from. So,
Wow.
these little details are very important in football. You don't just
Yeah.
discard it and say, oh, you don't need a set piece specialist. Now you've lost 3 points because of a set piece. So Angie has a lot of work to do. For me, Tottenham, I rated them highly, honestly, to get into the top 4 this season. But from what I've seen so far, I don't think Tottenham will be getting close to the top 4. And this manager is
I
not
think
ready to change. Sooner rather than later, this
Yeah.
man he will be losing his job if he's not careful. I have to be
I
honest.
think there's another thing we need to point out. I think another problem Tottenham has is the Madison factor. When Madison first of all came into Tottenham, he was actually performing well. But the moment he got injured, since Madison came back from that injury,
He has not
he's
left the
he's
expectation.
not been optimum at all, and it's showing. It was that bad yesterday that they had to bring in Son to play midfield. And when you already have Son in midfield, you already know you're losing an attacking threat already.
Yes.
That space is already out. So I think Ange has got to sit back and start telling himself that, look, I've made mistakes. I think I need to start adjusting. Because if he doesn't, the fans will come out for him. And I know Daniel Levy. Daniel Levy is not that person who tends to pity you.
He is not
He will
patient.
get you out as soon as possible.
Definitely.
All right, the last game was Wolves versus Newcastle. Because of our time, I rate Newcastle winning over Wolves.
This was a tale of two halves, and I would say Newcastle dominated the first half, but Wolves got the goal. Wolves dominated the second half, but Newcastle got the winning goal, unfortunately. So it was the other way around because Newcastle had chances, and I know they lost Isak in the second half, which is a big blow. But then in the second half, Wolves had chance on chance and
chances
come up with very good saves in this game to keep Newcastle in the game. And I think their first goal was a free goal, came off Dawson. It was a deflected shot.
Yeah.
But the second goal, it was a beauty from Harvey Barnes. Absolute beauty from Harvey Barnes. And Newcastle right now are, I think, third position in the table.
Yeah.
They are not in Europe, so they can keep the players fresh for the weekend games. I think they might actually threaten to make the top 4 this season, Newcastle United. And the Big Six have to be wary of that. But for that game, Wolves, I think, played very well, especially in the second half. On another day, they could have gotten all 3 points. But we know how this league is. Like I said, the league is unforgiving. You don't take your chances. The opposition gets 1 or 2 chances, and that is the end of the game for you. So I think Wolves will have better days ahead. I don't think they played very badly, to be honest. But, they need to make sure that he has brought in a new midfielder in Andre. He needs to find that midfield balance between Lemina and Andre. I think they are both very similar type of players. So in order to strike a balance between attack and defense, he needs to maybe change formation or find a new role for Lemina, or actually maybe use both of them sitting and an attacking midfielder in front of them. But for this game, honestly, I don't think Wolves deserved to lose this game. I think worst case should have been a draw based on the chances they created. But at the end of the day, it's what it is. So it's a good win for Newcastle. 3 points.
3 points. All right, this is how far we can go tonight. Jeffers, I want to say thank you so much for joining us on this one. Jeffers, up Arsenal.
Not yet. It's not yet. We've got a very tough setup. I actually have the new.
I hope you are going to wear this next week.
I have the current kit. I think you might not see me on the jersey because I will be at work. Definitely, I'll be at my work attire. But definitely, obviously, still going to represent by next week. All right, now have a nice day.
All right. Thank you so much. Ray, thank you so much for joining us on this one. I hope next week you guys gonna win.
Oh no, Bournemouth in AC Milan and Bournemouth. We are coming for them, definitely.
All right, Ray, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
All right, people, please smash the like on the video. This is how far we can go tonight. Subscribe, like the video, share the video, and on the same time when we come back next week for the review of this show, I want to say thank you so much. Bye for now.